Before you switch off because you already have a wireless phone charger for your Model 3 or Model Y, hold up, because that was exactly the reaction I gave when I got an email saying, do I want a free one to try out? I thought I already have a wireless phone charger, why would I want another one? Then I read on and saw some features like 15-watt fast charging, an SD card slot for your Sentry cam and DashCam footage. I opened the pictures, see a lovely wooden effect design, and also it can charge your AirPods. So I said, yes, let's try it out, and I'm glad I did, because I think this is the only wireless phone charger you want for your Model 3 or Model Y. In this video, I'll be exploring why. So Jowua were kind enough to send me their latest wireless phone charger completely free of charge because they thought I would be interested in it. I'm sure it had nothing to do with the fact if I feature it on the channel it'll boost sales. But to that end, I have ticked the box that says paid promotion purely because they gave it to me free of charge. I'm not actually getting paid to promote or review the product, so it will be a completely honest review, and I'll be saying 3 things that I don't like about it, which I'm sure if I was getting paid to do, I wouldn't be allowed. Now, as I said at the start, I think this is the only wireless phone charger you want for your Model 3 or Model Y, even though it's got some flaws, which I'll point out in a sec. Now, before I get on to why I think that, I think it's important to highlight what problems I have with my current wireless phone charger. So my current wireless charger does a pretty good job. You put your phone on it, it charges, and you think, what more do you want from a wireless phone charger? It's doing its job. And that's exactly what I thought until I tried out the Jowua product. It does everything just that little bit better. So with the current charger, to ensure the USB gets the power and you have spare USB ports for your Sentry mode, you get USB splitters. You plug it into the normal Model 3 or Model Y USB ports, it splits off, 2 go to the charger, 2 are spare, so you can plug your USB stick in to record all your dashcam footage and things, which is fine, and it did the job quite well, to be honest. The problem was it looked quite messy under there, and also to access the SD card was a little bit fiddly because you had to kind of like dive under the charger and pull the SD card out that way. The other problem I found, which again didn't really bother me, so I didn't really try and sort out a solution, was the fact that because I was plugging in a powered USB stick in there, or sorry, it was a USB stick that took power, it meant that it didn't really have enough power to the charger to charge 2 phones wirelessly at the same time. The final issue I found that actually still applies to the Jowua mat as well as the previous wireless charger mat is although they've got grips on them that say they will keep the phone in place, actually the iPhone 12 and previous iPhones that have got glass back still slide around. Now with my old charger, that would sometimes slide off the coil and then stop charging. Now with the Jowua one, I have to say, I've tested it going around a few roundabouts and stuff like that, and you can see from the coil locations, what I've found that even if it slides off center, it still continues to charge. So the grippy pads don't really function and do their job to keep it in place. But even so, because it gets to the boundary of the charging area, it still seems to charge, which is a huge bonus. So the first thing that caught my eye when I opened the email was actually the design of it. You can see it's got this fake wood effect, the same as what you've got on the dash of the Model 3. And I don't know what you guys thought, but when I first got my Model 3, I thought the wood effect dash is really nice, but I also thought it just felt a bit random. There was no other reference to it in the car whatsoever, and I thought it was just an odd design feature. Now in the 2021 Model 3s, you've got it going down the door panels a bit, which I think is needed. But what this adds is another reference to it in the car, which makes it feel more like it's meant to be there. So that was the main feature, and I don't think any other wireless chargers actually do this. Now, if you don't like the wooden effect panel, or you've already got rid of your wooden dash, which I know a lot of people have done with wraps, you can get this in black. Now, for those that have got white interiors, I did ask whether they were planning a white version of this, but because the latest 2021 Model 3s come with a wireless charger, and this pad won't actually fit those, the life expectancy of this pad is actually quite limited. So they might bring it out in future releases, but currently there's no white option available for this. So it's only wood effect or black. So I'm going to install this now in real time. It's super easy to install. It's ridiculously quick. So don't worry if you're not a technical whiz. It takes literally probably 2 minutes, if that. So a little bit about the company, and I think this comes through in their products, is one of the founders, I think it was, actually worked on iPhone accessory products. And that comes through with how they've presented themselves on the website. It's very nice, artistic, well shot interiors, things like that. And I think that's why this features so well and works so well on the interior. Now, because of that, it means you can pretty much guarantee that this product is going to work really well with Apple products, but it does work with all phone manufacturers as well. But if you're worried about it not fitting for the iPhone 12 mini or the iPhone 12 Pro Max, then it does actually charge both those, whereas the current Tesla charger doesn't do that. Other products do charge those phones as well. So like the Jowua product, which I'd say is the main competitor to this, also will charge those phones. So it's not differentiating itself from that point of view, but it does actually charge both of those, so you don't need to worry about those. And as I said, I think because they're like Apple orientated, you can charge your AirPods on them, which is pretty cool, because that is quite handy to come in after you've been out and about with them all day. You can just put them on charge and then they'll be charged by the time you get home. But some key features that differentiate this from other brands are that 15 watt fast charging, which if you've got a phone that does that, means you can charge up to 100% on your phone a lot quicker. As I said, other products out there do that in the same price range of these, but quite a lot of wireless chargers will only go up to that 10 watt max. This charger will charge 15 watts for a single phone or 10 watts for 2 phones at the same time. The other thing that's really good is you can charge your phone in a variety of positions. So if you've got an app that is better in landscape, then you can actually charge your phone horizontally and it'll do that. And that applies to all the different like shaped phones as well, which is really handy. If you've say got Waze up and you don't want to be using the navigation here, you can just slot Waze in there and it will start charging as you go along. One unique selling point of this one though, that I think gives it the edge over the Jowua charger, is the fact you can have your SD card slotted straight into the charger and you don't have to worry about buying a separate USB stick that then plugs separately into a USB port. The other thing from a point of view from security, on later models it's fine because it's got moved to the glove box, but thieves could break in and they go under there and they just pull out the USB stick and then all the footage is gone. Whereas this, if the thieves aren't familiar with this product, they're going to go under there, try and pull out the USB stick or take the SD card and they're not really going to know where it is. One thing you could do though, Jowua, for future products is I think you need to remove the rubber seal that says microSD on it. Just leave it blank, because as an owner you're going to know where to put it, but as a thief you might not notice that that's where your SD card is. So I think you could just leave that blank and then that would add an extra layer of security. So just a little free tip there if you want to improve the product going forward. And because you don't have to plug in a separate USB stick, I've not had that issue of the power drain, and therefore I've been comfortably charging 2 phones on this wirelessly without any issues at all. And it also keeps underneath tidier because there's only 2 wires coming out. So the key bits I like so far then are the fact it's got this awesome wood effect panel which complements the dash really well. It's got the SD card slot, which is better security and easily accessible, and it does the 15 watt fast charging and comfortably charges 2 of my phones. So as I promised, I said I'd go through what I didn't like. And this is how you charge your AirPods. So let me just get my AirPods out of my pocket. So you can just slot them in there. AirPods Pro that way. So you just slot them in there and then they'll actually charge, which is really cool. Because then I can actually charge my AirPods and they're charging away there. The downside is this is made of cardboard. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's very robust cardboard, it's very solid, and you've got foam pads in there, so it's not like you can squash down the pad at all. But I just kind of feel it's a little bit of a get out to just make the product out of cardboard for durability. Now, if they're trying to do it for reduced plastic, brilliant, I'm all for that. But say that on the website and promote it a little bit more, because otherwise it just feels like you're just getting given a fancy bit of cardboard. So that should really, I think, be made out of plastic for durability. But if it's to reduce plastic, fair play, I'm all up for that. But yeah, still awesome that it charges your AirPods. And it can do AirPods 2 as well. So you just put it up whichever way you want, and then it'll position it. The other bit that I think is a missed opportunity here, Jowua, is the fact that you did not include magnets in the wireless charger. So you said it was MagSafe compatible, which it is. It charges my iPhone 12, no problems whatsoever. But as I said, the grips without a case still let the phone slide around. If you'd have put MagSafe in there and it would secure the phone in, you'd benefit from that like 15 watt charging all the time, because it'd be perfectly aligned with the transmitter and the receiver. So I thought that would have been an awesome like selling point, especially for iPhone users. Admittedly, it's probably only half the market of smartphones, but I just thought that would have been a really cool feature to add to it. Maybe a V2. The other part I should probably mention, but this doesn't actually bother me in the slightest, is the fact it doesn't offer wired charging, unlike the Jowua product. For me, as I said, that's not a deal breaker at all, because what I tend to find is if I'm doing wired charging, it's because I want the phone in my hand. So the fact I can't like slot in a wired phone on the charger is not a deal breaker. You've got plenty of other charge ports around the car, so it really isn't a problem that this doesn't do wired charging. And I imagine a couple of years it's going to be redundant anyway. So I think that pretty much covers it. Although I've highlighted some flaws there, overall this is a way better phone charger because it's got an awesome appearance. It really does complement the car really well. It does the 15 watt charging, it's got the SD card slot, it's just got all those little features that make life easier even though you don't know you need them. And AirPods charging is pretty cool as well. Comparing this to the standard Tesla charger you get, that doesn't charge as far as I'm aware the iPhone 12 mini, it won't charge the iPhone 12 Max. You can't do horizontal charging, and you don't get LEDs that light up, and you don't get 15-watt charging either. So this might be worth upgrading if you want those extra kind of like conveniences as well. So in terms of how this compares to its main competitor, the Jowua one, I think this has the edge because you get the SD card slot and you get the better appearance. Functionality wise, they're very similar. So they'll all charge the same types of phones, all have the same rates of charging and stuff like that. The Jowua one is $99. The Jowua one is $100. So at current exchange rates, if we do the exchange rate as 138, which is what it is today, that works out about £72. Which you can get cheaper chargers out there, but they don't have all this functionality. If you want to get a free SD card when you order this, type in the promotion code TORQUE, TORQUE, not TALK, and I've put the link in the description so you can just click on that and that will take you straight to the product page where you can explore and see all the nice pictures of it and decide whether you want one or not. So would I upgrade to this knowing what I know now from my old charger, that my old charger cost about £36? Do you know what? I probably would. I know I got this for free, but I keep going on about this, but the look of it complements the car really well. So it improves the appearance of the car. I think I paid £20 or £30 or something to get rid of the piano black and just put a vinyl wrap on. So you've paid a lot for your car. You want it to look good inside. And I just think it looks really nice. Not to mention, obviously, the convenience of the SD card slot, and it just tidies up that compartment underneath there. And from the AirPods charging point of view, I'm sure you can buy those cases on top, but again, they just include that free of charge, so that's a nice little touch. So yeah, I think I probably would upgrade. If I was buying a phone charger outright, I'd definitely go for this one straight off the back. But I think keep an eye on this company because it looks like they've got some decent products on the way, and with the iPhone accessory background in design, I think they'll bring out some nice looking products that will complement the Model 3 quite well. So what are your thoughts on this product then? Do you reckon you'd buy one? Would you upgrade? Do you like the wood effect? Do you think it's tacky? Have you got one? What are your thoughts? Or do you recommend a different charger altogether? Let me know in the comments below. That's all for this week. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will see you soon.